It all began with a small, shared lie. A harmless charade. A mutual escape. My name is Zoe, 29, a marketing professional still recovering from a heart that hadn't quite healed. Just 3 months earlier, my fiancé left me, not for solitude, but for someone else he claimed to love more. That betrayal didn't just leave me alone, it left me stuck. One night, aimlessly scrolling, I opened a message on a dating app. Her name was Maddie. Like me, she wasn't looking for love, just a companion for a short-lived role. She wrote, "My family expects me to be in a relationship. I'm supposed to go on a couple's trip to Italy. Will you come with me? Just pretend to be my girlfriend." Ordinarily, I wouldn't even consider such a request. But something about her profile, unfiltered, genuine, struck a chord. Maybe I wanted to run too. Not away from someone, but from the heaviness I carried. I messaged back, "Book the tickets. I'm in." 2 weeks later, I was waiting at the airport in Rome, still unsure of why I said yes. But beneath that uncertainty was a flicker of something I hadn't felt in a long time, anticipation. Then she appeared, long auburn hair, a smile that looked like it was holding back stories. She walked up to me and, with a grin, opened her arms. "Ready, babe?" I laughed. "Ready." And I hugged her, but strangely, it didn't feel like acting. The first few days we went through the motions, holding hands at check-ins, smiling for tourist photos, posting couple moments online. But at night, we retreated to our separate beds, keeping the illusion only during the day. On the 4th day, as we sipped coffee in a quiet Florence cafe, Maddie looked up and said, "If I knew this would make me feel this, content, I'd have done it sooner." I looked at her, really looked, and quietly said, "I'm starting to forget it's pretend." She held my gaze, then whispered, "Me too." That's when the pretending stopped. As we wandered through the old streets, the conversation shifted. She told me about her childhood, her father's early passing, and her first job. I wasn't just listening. I was absorbing her. Every word, every glance. One evening by the Arno River, she turned and asked, "What do you think this is?" Her voice was steady, but her eyes weren't. I answered slowly. It's like we had to fake something just to discover what's real. That night, we pushed the beds together. We didn't rush anything. Our hands met under the blanket, and we simply stayed there, still, safe, together. By the time we reached the coast, walking hand in hand through the sunlit villages, we were no longer mimicking a couple. We were one. We just hadn't said it out loud. At a seaside restaurant, the waiter asked, "Are you two married?" Maddie glanced at me, then replied with a smile, "Not yet." Later, as we walked beneath the stars, she turned to me and said, "If you want to keep pretending, I'll understand." But her eyes were begging for the opposite. "This isn't pretend," I said. She stopped, pulled me close, kissed me, slowly, cautiously, then all at once. That night, back at the hotel, we didn't even close the door before embracing again. No words, none needed. That night wasn't about escape. It was about arrival. But the morning brought reality back. A call flashed on my phone. Not my ex, but his friend. A piece of the past. Maddie noticed. "Will you answer?" she asked. I shook my head. "No. I'm here, with all of me." She looked at me differently after that. Tenderly, but also with something I couldn't read. That afternoon, as the sun dipped below the rooftops, I said, "There's something you're not saying." She nodded. That kiss, the first one, it should have been the end. It scared me. I wasn't ready to feel so much. I didn't let her finish. I told her I needed space and walked away. We didn't sleep in the same bed that night. Physically close, but emotionally distant. The next morning, she hugged me from behind. "I need a day alone," she said softly. I let her go. When she returned, she looked drained, but resolute. "I didn't want to come back," she admitted. "But I did. Because when I think of you, everything else makes sense." I kissed her a long, quiet kiss, filled with understanding and love. We packed our bags the next morning. The drive back to Rome was quiet. Familiar roads, but unfamiliar feelings. Something had shifted. We both knew this trip was ending. We just didn't want to say it. 2 separate rooms had been booked for the last night, just like we planned from the beginning. As the receptionist handed us our keys, I asked, "Dinner?" "Somewhere quiet." She smiled. "Okay." Later, over wine in a quiet alley-side bistro, her voice trembled. "I have to tell you something," she said. "I'm getting married when I get back." My chest sank. "What?" "You knew this was an escape," she whispered. "But now I'm scared of missing you before I even understand what that means." I couldn't argue. She was right. I slid my foot under the table and rested it gently on hers. She looked at me, eyes glistening. "What am I supposed to do, Zoe?" "Whatever you decide, just remember me," I said. That night, we held hands as we walked back for the last time. Up in her room, we lay on the bed, fully clothed. Her head rested on my chest. I stroked her hair. No words, just breath, just heartbeats. I woke to find her gone. I flew home alone. Weeks later, an envelope arrived. No return address. Postmarked from Italy. Inside, a photo. Our backs facing the camera, sitting in front of a stone wall in Florence. On the back, just one sentence written in her handwriting. "Some vacations don't end. They just live quietly inside us."